So our subscribers fall into two categories: those that remember the poop treats at Zuri's Sweet Shop in Animal Kingdom, and those who are going to hear about them for the first time right now. Let's get started. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and at Walt Disney World it seems the only true constant is change, and we have become used to that. We understand it, and we've seen it all. Rides and attractions have been updated in ways that still sting, and we're looking at you, Figment. Beloved foods removed from menus and sometimes returned a little different. Prices going up without warning. Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, and some of those changes have been downright painful. So here are a few ways Disney keeps breaking our hearts, but don't worry, there's some redeeming qualities we're going to tell you about too. So first up, taking away our favorite foods. Now I know a lot of you can relate to this, right? Everybody's had their favorite food at Disney somehow changed, taken off the menu, or messed with somehow. And it's like losing your best friend sometimes. What, you guys don't think food is your best friend? No? Okay, just me? All right. Well, we'll move on then. So this category could contain so many items, I'd spend all day lamenting long lost menu items, but that's boring. You don't want to hear about that. So let's focus on some of our biggest, most heartbreaking changes and talk a little bit about those. First of all, the plastic cheese. Now, I talk about plastic cheese. I've always talked about plastic cheese on my blog and my social channels, and some people are like, wait a minute, AJ, what's plastic cheese? So this is one of my most favorite horrible / awesome foods. It's that sort of nacho cheese or even just cheddar cheese that's liquid. It's liquid at room temperature, which is weird. So I don't think that's natural. So I call it plastic cheese because I feel like there's not really any food in there. It's just chemicals, but I love it. It's really good. You guys know what I'm talking about. And at Disney, it's forever on the chopping block. You guys will remember there was a time not too long ago that there was actually a lawsuit. Someone got burned by the cheese, and so they took away the plastic cheese as far as being a self-service situation. And for a while there, the plastic cheese was gone altogether, so you could not get it anywhere. And now it's come back, but you do have to order it and pay extra for it. So right now we're seeing the option to buy plastic cheese in popular spots like the Plaza Restaurant, on the Plaza Loaded Fries. Flame Tree Barbecue has that pulled pork fry dish with the plastic cheese on top, and there's prepackaged tubs that come with the Mickey pretzel, so if you're really in a jam, you can count on that. But remember, you can get a cup of plastic cheese now at Casey's Corner. You can still get a cup of plastic cheese also at Cosmic Rays. That goes off and on the menu, but I think it's on right now. So you can pay a little extra and get a cup of plastic cheese at those two Magic Kingdom locations, but gone are the days when you could dispense yourself some plastic cheese at Casey's, which was totally awesome. Now next, Hollywood Studios growth has resulted in some tragic losses for us. Now we're super excited about Galaxy's Edge coming, super excited about Toy Story Land and everything else, but we lost Starring Roles and Writer's Stop, two of my must-dos, two of my classic favorite places to go in Hollywood Studios. And these were also our go-tos for grabbing really good treats, that carrot cake cookie over at Writer's Stop and the peanut butter crunch cupcake, which of course was the original Butterfinger cupcake over at Starring Rolls. And now we've seen both of these items pop up in Trolley Car Cafe, but they've also been pulled from the case and returned differently. So that carrot cake cookie that we used to love getting at Writer's Stop has been redone to have a little bit less frosting, and the cake sections are much thicker. So you've got a lot more cake and a lot less frosting now in that carrot cake cookie. It's still very, very good, and the frosting is still the same frosting. It's just lessened a tiny bit. So really good still, so head over to Trolley Car to get that. Now the peanut butter crunch cupcake, that original Butterfinger cupcake that used to have that giant mound of buttercream icing and that fudge inside, now it's got a much smaller bit of sort of peanut butter flavored frosting and no fudge filling anymore. So still a good cupcake, but not our original, and it just breaks our heart to lose that one, because that one also had a lot to do with DFB's start as a food blog in Disney. So both of these locations are just gone, and there's no replacement in sight, but we will keep our fingers crossed that eventually they will return Starring Roles, as it still hasn't become anything else yet. So we'll see what that little area will be changed into. All right, now we're going to talk about those poop treats that I told you about at the top of this video. Believe it or not, when Zuri's Sweet Shop opened up over there in Harambe Village in Animal Kingdom, it had poop treats. in the confectionery case. And yes, it was candy made to look like animal droppings, I should say. And it was a whole educational thing. It was called Match the Species. And so there were edible versions of elephant, giraffe, cotton top tamarind, and hippo droppings that you could sample. I mean, it was mostly like chocolate and peanut butter and stuff, right? And the elephant variety specifically, we enjoyed. This one was chocolate peanut butter fudge with sweet rolled oats and yellow coconut flakes. I know it sounds awful, but it was such a cool idea, and I think kids really dug it. But believe it or not, it was only around for like a week and a half. They only had those things for a short time, and then they were gone. Probably some exec decided that it was in poor taste. But anyway, I missed them. I think that was fun, and I think, having a 5-year-old boy right now, I really think he would have loved those. So the poop treats are gone. Too bad. There are some snacks that I think might be on the chopping block, so take note of these, you guys, and go grab them as soon as you can, because I think these might be going away soon. The key lime pie at Municiberg over there in Hollywood Studios. I believe that one's gonna head out after the Mickey and Minnie celebration is over. The character cones in the Magic Kingdom, we've already lost Hey Hey again, and we'll see if we lose the other two. Mickey and Minnie Waffle Sundae there at Magic Kingdom as well might be on the chopping block for when the Mickey celebration is over. And who knows what's going to happen with my Nyala brownie. Now, you guys remember that I loved that peanut butter brownie at the Mara in Animal Kingdom. They took it away for a long time, and then they changed it to the Nyala brownie, which is there now, which is much smaller and doesn't have as much frosting. I'm just hoping they keep it there, but I'm worried that they won't. So be sure to check those out ASAP if you're headed to Disney World this summer. All right, next up, classic attractions closing. This is another way that Disney World keeps breaking my heart. So we're still lamenting the loss of some classics like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and of course, the Great Movie Ride, which we lost very recently, and a lot of us are still really, really missing it over there in Hollywood Studios. And again, we're also starting to see that reliance on film franchises to inspire rides, which is fine. We love the Disney movies, and that's cool, but I think that I would love to see some new rides and new attractions that are built on completely new stories as well, and just in-park stories too would be super cool. Now, luckily, there are some solid rides still standing, like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, that have their own original stories. Expedition Everest, the Safari, Kali River Rapids, other Animal Kingdom rides. Those are newer generation, completely Imagineered and imaginative rides. Those are not based on any movie stories or Disney franchises, which is so great. And I love that they're not going anywhere. So even though the Great Movie Ride is gone, we lost Mr. Toad's Wild Ride over there in Disney World. It is still in Disneyland, and it also is, let's be honest, based on a Disney movie franchise. But these classic Imagineer-driven attractions are not going anywhere, and if they're given some time to age, they do become classics in and of themselves. All right, another way that Disney keeps breaking my heart, raising those prices. Obviously, the price of a Disney World park ticket isn't going to be the same as it was back in 1971. But ticket prices are far surpassing regular inflation rates right now, with tickets for Christmas Day costing $159. That's a 23% price increase, or a $30 increase from previous rates. So yes, Disney World has certainly improved a lot since it opened, with 3 additional parks, Disney Springs, Pandora, Galaxy's Edge. Disney is always at the forefront of innovation, and we're willing to pay some price increases for that. But this past year has shown multiple price increases, both on tickets and on food and beverage and merchandise in the parks. So overall, we are spending a lot more money in the parks than we did 1 or 2 years ago. And with the new date-based ticketing system, that's raising some prices for a lot of us as well. So these constantly increasing prices makes Disney World a little bit more unattainable for a lot of people. And we would always hate for people to have to miss out on the magic or not be able to come back to Disney World as often as they want to. But to be fair, there are still really serious crowds, and I do feel like Disney World is not getting any less crowded. In fact, it's getting more crowded, so it's not enough of a deterrent to raise those prices. So if you want to save some money in order to spend more time in Disney World to get back to Disney World sooner, here are some tips. Bring your own snacks, just no loose ice. Remember, they changed all those rules. Don't do a table service meal every day. Quick service locations, counter service locations are great options, especially with all the new fast casual options opening up, like Polite Pig, Deluxe Burger, Satuli Canteen. Delicious food, and they save a lot of time, which can be spent riding rides. If you're an annual pass holder, Disney Vacation Club member, be sure to use your discounts at dining locations or buy snacks in retail shops and get your merch discount applied to them instead of buying them at food kiosks. And the last thing we want to talk about, where Disney has broken our hearts, this one is so near and dear, is taking away our lights. I feel like we have a lot of electrical extravaganzas that are near and dear to my heart that are gone now. The Main Street Electrical Parade left Disney World in 2016, and now we don't even have a nighttime parade in Disney World, which is really, really sad, and I think it's leaving a big hole there. So the Main Street Electrical Parade is actually coming back to Disneyland for a short time this summer from August 2nd to September 30th, and you know I'm going to be there to see it, but we're not sure what's going to happen to it after that. More lights we missed, the Osborne lights in Hollywood Studios. You guys remember these? Please leave me a comment if you do. These were so great for so many years, and it was one of those things that you just took for granted that they'd always be there, but alas, in order for Galaxy's Edge to be built, the streets of America had to be torn down, which means we'd lost our bright spectacle of dancing lights. The Osborne family of Arkansas donated their display of over 5 million lights to Disney World in 1995, and the lights have since been returned to the Osborne family with no word of them returning to the parks. And this one is just devastating to me and my dad and AJ's dad, who will probably leave a comment on this video, so you should say hi to him. Add the Lights of Winter in Epcot, the holiday light show that was set up in between Future World and World Showcase for so many years. There were beautiful arches featuring 30,000 lights, amazing music, I mean, just incredible, great tracks that they used. We loved it. My dad and I loved it, and then it was suddenly gone, and it just broke our hearts. So Epcot does still decorate for the Festival of Holidays, of course. We just don't have the Lights of Winter the way we did before. So sometimes these kinds of things are just super expensive, but I think they delivered more than the sum of their parts in rad, super rad Disney entertainment. So while you can still go see the electrical water pageant, which we're so glad is still there, that is old school, it's OG. You definitely want to go to the electrical water pageant, which runs every night on the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake. We'll just really miss these particular things. So these are some ways that Disney has broken our hearts, but I hope we've given you a few things that you can go see and check out, and some tips that you can use to make sure you still have a great vacation, even though those things aren't there anymore. Thanks you guys for listening, and thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you miss at Disney. What are some things that have broken your hearts? But what are some things that maybe have been added that you're loving and that you're so glad are there? I can't wait to hear from you. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.